Check. And we're up and running. And so, hey, welcome to Spokane, Washington, and to the Trail of Fire. And so, this is our first roadcast that we've done live. Got our first opportunity to really be able to do that.
Yep.
And so, give a few moments here for people to be able to jump on.
We've got 2 people so far.
There you go.
Yay.
And so, welcome aboard the roadcast. And so, this is a live kind of like discussion. Here's the deal. Jenna and I, we've now, in the family, we started this journey in January. And so, here we are now, getting ready to head into June. 20 states in. We're missing a lot of friends and family, and so this is kind of like, let's just sit down with a cup of coffee and let's just have a conversation. And so Jenna's going to be checking the live stream and comments there on Facebook. So if you got questions, some of you guys have been so kind to send a few more in. And so kind of like this is what's been happening here on the road and on the Trail of Fire.
Yeah.
And so, babe, it's awesome to have you.
Thanks.
And so also those of you that have tuned in, so feel free to be able to drop comments and stuff in the section below. And so just kind of like a real quick catch up, and you're going to need to turn that down because I can hear you.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
We're learning.
We're learning. We're here at Family Church in Spokane, Washington. We'll be here this upcoming weekend and then all the way through Wednesday. And looking forward, Pastor Vince Schott and Jody Ann. And it seemed like a tremendous church just from what we've been able to see. Got a lot of expectation. Coming up into this, they have just blitzed the area.
Yeah, like
2,500 mailers out. And so, in a moment, I might pan the camera. We're in a gorgeous location. Trees, river, every now and then a deer.
and turkey.
That turkey, and they tell me that there's even moose.
Yeah.
So,
I haven't seen them yet, but...
Yeah, and so, really looking forward to that. And so, babe, there's a couple people shot a few questions in our direction.
Yeah. So we have one live right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Mary Jones. She says, "Hey, Pastor Daniel, are you going to come to camp this year with a Foursquare, Clinton, Indiana?"
Oh, man. I haven't been invited yet. But we are going to be through Indiana right about in
August.
Yeah, we'll be there in August. So that's probably later than camp. But anyway. Yeah, but we are looking forward to we're going to be in Delphi.
Yes.
And then also right on the border. I can't remember where, but the schedule's all up on the website at trailoffire.org and danielknorris.com.
Yep. Okay, so we've got quite a few viewers. Okay.
Awesome.
So
welcome aboard.
Jay Sloan is on. Hi, Jay.
What's up, Jay?
And he asked a question yesterday. He says, "We're praying for your safety on the road. Please tell us, do you miss a stick and brick home or do you prefer the RV life?"
I think that's a great question for you.
Oh, that's a good question.
And also a great question. For those, we've learned this in the whole RV terminology. Sticks and bricks home is what they call the homes that all you guys are in. And then, as my kids like to say, this is our house on wheels.
Yeah.
And so, this is Blaze right behind us. So you see Blaze there in the background. And so, what do you think, babe?
You know what? It's a different kind of life. It's not one that I thought that I would ever be living for right now. And I do miss having a stick and brick home because of the space and my kitchen. I really miss my kitchen a lot because anytime I try to do anything here, I have no countertop space to prep anything to try to actually cook a meal. So it's difficult, and that's what I really like to do. So yes, I do, but I also love the RV life. We're all together all the time, which may seem like we pull out our hair, but we really don't. I mean, we have days, but that's life. And so, but no, we're really enjoying being on the road and being together. So I don't know what more you could ask for.
I think that really is kind of the neat thing about what we've done is, last year I traveled nearly every single weekend out of the year, and every Saturday night, Friday night or somewhere in there, I would tuck the kids to bed and kiss them goodnight, and then tell them I'd see them in a couple days. And more times than not, Rhea would say, "Dad, do you have to go?" It was hard on her and hard on the family. And so what's been really neat about this is that we've been able to do this as a family. And, to be able to do ministry together on a weekend, see the power of God move, and so many lives touched and changed. We've seen so many phenomenal testimonies and miracles. My family's getting to see that. And there is no substitute for that. And then alongside that, then on those breaks, because we don't have to travel to get back home, this is home, and so we've got a lot of time also to be able to enjoy the areas that we're at. And so we've been able to take the kids to like some national parks. My favorite so far, Olympic National Park. Wow, if you haven't seen the pictures, they're on the website, and it is insane.
It is.
So there's a trade-off. you know, this has been a wild adventure. And so do we miss the home? Yes, there are times that I would love to get away in my office. And that's just being real.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, also getting away is getting outside and enjoying this. And so I would say the trade-off has been worth it, totally worth it.
Yep. On the same kind of note, Lisa Lee, I don't know if you're watching now, but she asked about where do we put all of our clothes and how do we store the kids' toys and everything like that. And then Jana asked, how are the kids doing with the adjustment and everything. So with that question, when we were first looking for a coach, storage was a big deal to me because I wanted our kids to be able to feel like they had their own space, even though Ray sleeps in the dining room table and that folds out into a bed, and the boys sleep on the couch that folds out into a bed. So nobody has their own space. But it was important to me that we could bring things from home to help them make them feel like they were at home. And so we have large storage underneath the coach that allows us to store in big plastic bins their toys and things that we'll pull out and let them play and then put them back underneath to store. And then the kids are doing great, Janet. I was concerned about that, but they have done so well. They love being on the road and going on a new adventure, almost really sometimes daily, but certainly mostly weekly basis.
On a weekly basis it is, and it's an adventure, and it's so neat to be able to share that with them. And Caden is constantly asking, when no matter where we're at, when can I get back to Blaze? He loves it. The only time so far that he's been like, I don't want to leave, was when we were in Maui.
Yes.
We get to Maui, and he's like, the moment we set foot on the beach, he's like, I'm not leaving. This is it, Dad. I am staying. Even
to this day, I'll ask him, where's your favorite place? And he goes, Maui.
Yeah.
I really like Maui.
Yeah, so to our friends at God's House and Chris Miyake and Stacy, wow, you made such an impression on the family. They love it, so we got to get back.
Yep, absolutely. John Gagney, he's all the way in the New England area.
Dude, John, what's up, dude? I love you. John was a roommate of mine at BRSM for a little while.
Yep.
And so we're expecting to be up in there, bro. We're going to make that work.
So he's asking, though, he goes, what happens after you've been to every state?
That is a great question.
It is.
I have called this our year of reconnaissance. This coincided with the book. So when we wrote Trail of Fire, that told 10 stories of 10 past moves of God, and we thought it would be neat to be able to visit those locations and share the stories from those spots. And so that's a lot of the reason behind this, to be able to introduce more churches and more places to the book, which really the book is a call to prayer. And so, on that side of things, it's been very successful this year of us being able to just get that out there and get the message. In fact, I called Charisma just the other day to order some more books, and they were all sold out. And so that's a good and bad problem at the same time. But at the same time, also, this wasn't about what God did, it's about what he's doing. And so we wanted to answer the question, God, what are you doing across America? I don't know what he's doing in Washington, but now we've come up here and we're getting an idea. We're able to actually spend some time. Whenever you fly in and fly out, there's really not enough time to spend time and get to know the culture and get to know the people. And so we really want to know, God, what are you doing across America? And so we're learning. The videos that we've posted, a lot of that isn't just to be able to share the adventure, but also to capture it so that we've kind of like got this just dialogue of the churches that we've been with, the things that we've learned, the things that we've seen. And so it's a year of reconnaissance. What comes after this, I'm not certain, but I do think that there's going to be a handful of areas that God's laying on our heart to be able just to pour ourselves into, and to be able to move the ball strategically to see awakening come to regions. And so there may be something that happens here in the Northwest, and so we come back constantly. Maybe something in New England, and we come back constantly. Obviously, the heartland there in Dallas, there's something happening there, and so we want to pour into that. And so we want to pick a handful of places and just begin to strategically hit it, because it's not about coming in, flash in the pan, do one service, and get out. I really do burn to see communities, churches, cities awakened. What we've been doing is not working. The way we've been doing things does not work. And so what I keep going back to is Charles Finney and the Second Great Awakening. When he came into Rochester, New York, and flipped that city upside down, the stories of Rochester are unbelievable. I mean, bars shut down, the jails emptied out, the courts had nothing to do. They fired policemen because the crime rate had dipped so low. Today you can go to Rochester, New York, and it's marked by what happened during that move of God. that didn't happen by accident. It was strategic. There was a lot of prayer, there's a lot of groundwork that went into it, and so that's what I'm beginning to pray and say in 2018, 19, 20, how do we strategically begin to hit these areas? And so right now we're learning, it's reconnaissance, and then in those upcoming years, it's which ones do we begin to inundate and see the power of God begin to move, because this is our part. God's doing things across the nation, we've got a part to play in that, and so what we feel we're supposed to do is learn and then attack.
Yeah. And we've been able, we have been able to work with amazing churches and ministries across the 19, 20 states that we've been in, and we maintain contact with those pastors, and whether they're on our hearts and we're praying for them, we just pick up the phone and call or text and just see how they're doing, or they call us with great reports of things that's been taking place since our time with them, and so
it's been really neat.
It's been really neat.
Yep.
I think you should share a story about maybe in California.
Right.
No, just a couple weeks ago, and when we were in Centralia, the testimony that came out of the young man. Or any testimony.
Well, no, but
there's plenty.
that one specifically, and that just happened in the last week. We were in Centralia with Rick and Debbie.
And Rick is watching. Pastor Rick's watching.
What's up, Pastor Rick? I love you guys. And I think it was Monday night or Tuesday night. There was a young man that had come, and he was sitting on the second row, black hoodie, all hiding in the middle of the service. He was brought there by a pastor. You could tell that he's trying to come clean from some things because he was jittery. He had all those signs of somebody who's withdrawing and was desperately in need of his next fix. And so he came to the altar for prayer time and for salvation. And because I didn't feel like he was totally receptive, I asked him the question. I said, are you here because you want to be here? Someone asked you to come. And so they asked me to come. And so I said, well, how about we do something? I said, you've been hiding all night. And even this hoodie. I said, you're hiding in the hoodie. Because you feel comfortable, you got it pulled up over you. I said, I want to ask you, make a decision. I said, would you be willing to take that off and come out of hiding? And at first he shook his head no, which told me I put my finger on something. And and so I asked him. I said, just ask. You don't have to, but I'm just telling you as an act, as a declaration. I said, take that. And so he did. He took off the hoodie. We threw it on the altar, and I prayed for him. And honestly, that night I didn't think anything significant had happened to him. I've seen the power of God come and just transform a person in a moment right there at the altar this year, which has been unbelievable, breathtaking. That didn't happen here. But 2 days later, Pastor Rick, as we're talking, I'm just asking him a little bit about what's going on, in testimonies. He shares them. He said, by the way, the young man, he said, the pastor says that he has not left the church and that he is coming to life. He's like a completely different person. And so he did. He came out of hiding.
We even got an email from the lady that said, he's cut his hair. He's going to go get working on getting a job.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see.
And he's taken off the black hoodie, and so that's just neat. To put that old self down and to walk in the newness of what your life is.
And for those watching, we're not negative to black hoodies. It was what he was wearing at the moment that he was hiding with. And so that became a prophetic act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't have any other questions at the moment, so you'll have to ask questions.
Yeah.
Because this is live Q&A.
Well, so there's a few that were sent. Someone asked about what are we doing with all the kids stuff, or did you answer that one?
I did answer that one.
Okay. Today, Rick Todd Duvall, as we were talking on the phone, he asked this question. He wanted to know. He said, "Is there a chance that this is longer than a year?" Because this is what we said. We said we would do this for a year, and then we'd see what comes next. And so, I'm going to let Jenna answer that one.
You're going to let me?
Yeah. What do you think? Is there a chance that this is longer than a year? Who knows?
I don't know. I really don't know how to answer the question, to be very honest. I know that the work that we're doing is going to continue. I don't know if it means that we are in an RV full time for another year. If that's the Lord's will, then that's what we'll do. But I don't know 100% if we're going to be. I don't know. You answer the question.
I put her on the spot because you can imagine it's to ask your family to walk away from what's stable and what's certain, your own room, your own everything, and then come and do something like this is pretty extreme. I'm not at that extreme, but it's not. But it is, it is a sacrifice in some ways, and so we've always come into it with this is a year, which kind of gives it an end point, which makes it a little easier. but along the way, we've also been very much mindful that who knows what God has in mind. I can see how there's a lot of benefit in what we're doing. We've been able to be such a tremendous blessing to churches. We come to churches and we don't ask anything. We don't cost them anything. It's not like you've got to pay for hotels and transportation. It typically costs us somewhere like $75 to $100 to make it from location to location, and so the travel costs are next to nothing. We cover that. We don't ask anything of the church, and so we're there truly to be a blessing. And in so many ways, what I feel like we're doing is we're rewriting the way that an evangelistic ministry can work with the church and not be a burden. We understand the church is not there to build our ministry. We're there to build the church. We're there to be a blessing to the church. And we trust that in that process, God's going to take care of us, and He has. And so it really has been a tremendous blessing. There's so many things I love about it. I hate flying. Hate flying. I had to fly to Tampa this past weekend, and I haven't told Jenna this. She's going to learn this now. And these are just reminders of why I hate that try. There's a time that I used to think that would be amazing to jet set all over the place, and then 9/11 happened in TSA, and flying's no longer fun at all. And so I'm at the Orlando airport. I had woke up at 3:30 in the morning to get to the airport to get back here and to catch the flight. And so I come into Orlando. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I forgot to take my wallet out of my back pocket, and so that obviously triggers the alarm. And they don't let you go back through. They have to do the full rub down. And so, it's just great. That's just, yeah, And so it's those moments, and then just the grogginess and getting through the airport. I'm like, this is awesome. And so
our own bed every night.
Our own bed every night. So I'm trying to. Here's the deal. Secretly, I'm trying to figure out how to talk her into maybe we should do this just a little bit longer. And so, yes, Todd, there's a chance. The door's open. But the deal is that Jenna's always been the one who's really made this happen. You remember whenever I told you about it, right?
I do. Yeah, I jumped on board immediately. So that's what I could see, and I said, until you tell me otherwise, that's what's in my mind to do. So
it's been cool.
It has.
It's been so cool.
Okay, Dana, the kids are doing great. I answered that a little bit earlier in the broadcast.
In fact, they're inside right now. You don't hear them. That's how great they're doing.
Levi says, park it in Dallas. John wants to know, is there another book coming after this one, Post Trail of Fire?
Definitely. I don't know what it'll be. I don't know if there is another book coming.
He's an amazing writer. If you haven't picked up the book, you should pick it up, or either one of them, Receptivity or Trail of Fire.
We're out of both. we just ordered some of the Receptivity, get it back up here, and then Trail of Fire we're out of. I'm praying that we can get some quick.
Let's see. Bonnie wants to know if we've replaced the fridge.
Okay. She would have to bring it. How did she know about that? She's connected.
She's read my blog.
She's read your blog.
Go, Bonnie.
By the way, Jenna, amazing writer as well. If you're not following along on the Trail of Fire site, you should be, especially on her stuff. It's so good. God TV picked it up, and they've put her blog up there on God TV, and so that's really neat too. Have we replaced the fridge yet?
The answer is no. So we have been living out of a large red igloo cooler.
Yes.
That we refill with ice.
Okay.
Like
so,
every day.
Listen, I'm cracking. The refrigerator stopped working in Texas, and it was like Texas, we had to bang, 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 get to California. Mm-hmm. And so when we got to California, we had 2 weeks. I'm thinking, this is great. We've got an opportunity to be able to get the refrigerator fixed. And so we come to Living Word there, and they had a suite, which was great, so we were able to move the family into the suite, and we found an RV place nearby, and we took it there for it to get fixed. And so they thought they identified the problem, charged me enough to fix the problem, and didn't fix the problem. And so now I'm kind of like, then it was quick to get all the way up here. And so now this is the next opportunity that we had to try and address it and fix it. And I called Camping World. They put in a work order. They're supposed to call me about when, and I haven't heard back from them. And so in the meantime, we're spending a fortune on bags of ice. My word. I remember when ice was like 99 cents a bag. Yeah. It's like $2.50, $3. And I'm like, I'm going to buy a refrigerator here sooner or later with the amount of ice that we're buying. And so I saw those little countertop ice makers
True story.
at Walmart, and I'm thinking, Jenna had a gift like rebate thing that she's been doing, so we had $40 to spend, and so they were like $80. So I'm thinking $40 for countertop ice makers. This is great, but that would pay for itself in a couple weeks. And
well, and it says that it makes 26 pounds.
It says 26 pounds of ice a day. Okay. And so I'm thinking, this is great. You know, I'm buying 2-3 pounds of ice. This is 26 pounds of ice in a day.
No, we're buying 20 pounds of ice because 2 bags. One bag is 10 pounds, so it's 20 pounds of ice.
Yeah, something is huge money saved. I'm laughing because it spits out like 6 ice cubes every 5 minutes.
It's awesome.
It is.
We have this little basket like this, and it's about that deep, and so it fills up, and we pour it into the cooler. It's awesome. Life on the road, guys. Come on.
We're
Who
making
wants
it
to
work.
Join us?
We're making it work. The sacrifices. Oh, the sacrifices. And so, still trying to figure out what to do on the refrigerator. I know it's not cheap. If the last fix didn't fix it, then the next one ain't cheap at all. And so now it's like, do we just replace the refrigerator, or do we put a new cooling unit in it? And anyway, life on the road.
Hey, it's fun. You call it your rolling hobby.
Yes.
Because there's always some little thing you have to like repair. Nothing. I mean, this is probably the most major thing we've had to do.
That would be the most major. The toilet was fun.
That was the first thing.
The first thing that broke on it was the toilet. Okay, so we're just sharing stories as people are asking questions. This was a great break-in. The toilet broke like 2 weeks in, and the way a toilet works on an RV is it doesn't flush. It's just a hole.
Well, think about an airplane.
Yeah, but an airplane like sucks stuff down. I mean, this is just a hole into a tank.
All right. Well, they don't need to know details.
Okay, so and the little flap that opens to let stuff drop, broke and
it was smelly and
stayed open.
So we just had to replace it.
So it had to be replaced.
Long story short.
And so I walked into Camping World, and they're like, "Here's the part." The part was like $17, but a new toilet was like $200. And
easy to replace.
One required just removing 4 bolts and putting the toilet on top of it, and it took 15 minutes. The other required removing the toilet and tearing it to pieces and getting all into it. And I'm like, yeah, give me the whole brand new toilet. And so anyway, we replaced that one. But that's it, the toilet and the refrigerator. So not bad. So
what's your favorite fast food?
In-N-Out.
In-N-Out?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I would say Chick-fil-A.
Okay, well, yeah, Chick-fil-A is there, but when we were in Fresno,
yes,
we found the perfect corner. Literally, there was a sign that had In-N-Out to the left, Chick-fil-A to the right.
Yep. The drive-through lines, like you had to choose.
It was fast food heaven. And so, both amazing companies. You walk into Chick-fil-A and you hear Christian music playing. You walk into In-N-Out and you've got scripture on all your food.
Yep.
So those are my 2 favorites. If I'm at In-N-Out, it's got to be just like the standard combo.
Yep.
And every now and finish that off with a shake at Chick-fil-A. It's a number 1, no pickles.
And a sweet tea.
Yes, but we've done a lot of fast food joints. Today, McDonald's, not a fan. Never a fan. I don't care what they dress that burger up with. It's just not good.
We do it for the kids.
We do.
We do it for the kids.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, the sacrifices.
Yes. Yes. Okay. All right, we need some more questions.
That's it.
We have 43 viewers.
Dude, thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
This is like hanging out. I wish there was a fire and we were roasting marshmallows. You had a cup of coffee and you were joined along with us.
Yes,
and that we could sing Kumbaya.
Probably not, but we could.
I had an idea, and I'll drop this one on Jenna too. I could see doing this next year with another motor coach behind us, and maybe 4 or 5 people that interns or whatever that would just love like life on the road, and I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun to go state by state, get to see a lot of amazing things, touch a lot of amazing people, and in the process, just have fun, and that would be a blast.
That would, and I think that would make almost life on the road a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Just
well, you're doing it as a clan.
Yeah, and that's who we are. We're very relationship oriented people, and so when we're out being able to meet new people and build new relationships, it's awesome. but then you have to leave those people and continue going. But to have like a whole clan that you just kind of hang out and do life with.
So I'm thinking that'd be great. Another bus right behind us.
I think I could do that.
I think that'd be a neat little.
Yes, Trail of Fire Caravan. That's right. Yes.
Yeah, we just announced the Gypsy Tour. We're just going to stack them up, motor coach. We're going to roll into cities and throw up a tent, and it's going to be epic.
Okay, so someone's asking Josh Newton.
Yeah, what's up, Josh? Dude, it's been so long.
He's wanting to know if we're coming
Josh
to
is from
Chicago.
way back.
Yeah, way back
To the warehouse
we were
days.
young.
Yes, I didn't know what I was doing. Josh, forgive me. Seriously, I was young and inexperienced in our first job as a youth pastor. The church was desperate to put me in. And doing ministry in Chicago means the world to me. We are coming up into that area. We're in Illinois in the end of July. I think July the 31st. Yes. And so stay in touch with us. I know that I'm going to be right there in the heart of Illinois. I know it's not quite close, but we're also going to be in Detroit a couple weeks after that. And so we got to be able to figure out how to make that connection happen. And I got a lot of friends in Chicago.
Okay, okay, 2 questions here. Oh, Ty Monivon. Hi, Ty.
Dude!
They're full-time RVers, too. Park model RVs.
No way.
Yeah, isn't that
cool? Dude, you guys downsized and went tiny home. That's legit.
Yeah,
no, I do need to see pictures. I want you to send them to me right now. Post them below. First off, for those that don't know Ty, Ty is the man. I mean, for one, he could bench press my Ford Explorer.
Yes,
he's tough. So the idea of him fitting in a tiny home is hilarious to me, because he's muscular. I mean, he's just anyway. So, what's he asking? Or is he just saying hello?
It was just hello.
Oh,
yeah.
And that they're doing the RV. Although a park model home, that's kind of like you park it and then you move it from time to time. We're moving on a sometime.
But it's still
yeah.
Okay.
Dude, you should join the caravan. just pull right behind us.
Okay, Ben and Allie. Hi, we'll see you guys in July. Ben wants to know what's been the highlight while visiting churches and with family time.
Awesome. And I'm thrilled that, Ben, I love you for asking that question. We are looking forward to being with you guys in Iowa. For those for those that are watching, Ben and Allie just came up to Iowa as the youth pastors for David Woodcock at New Journey Church in Knoxville, Iowa. We'll be there in July.
Yes.
Middle of July, my birthday, actually. Hint, hint. And this is what's neat is I was in Madill, Oklahoma, and on that Sunday, there was a family that had come down for a wedding, and they said that they were from Iowa, and so they were so blown away by what happened Sunday morning that they came back Sunday night. They delayed their trip to go back to Iowa. So I hear you guys are in Iowa, and they said, yeah. I said, I'm going to be in Iowa in July. And they asked, where are you coming to in Iowa? I said, well, it's Knoxville. And they're like, we're from Knoxville. And I'm like, man, what church? And they're like, I couldn't remember the name of the church. I said, but it's David Woodcock's church. I said, that's our church. And so what was neat was I told them, I said, here's the deal. I'm praying for you guys and sending you a seed into Iowa. They got wrecked.
Yes.
And I talked to Pastor David a couple times since then. He said, these guys are on fire. I mean, you want to talk about, there's something brewing in Iowa, and I cannot wait to get there. And so that was just a neat little God connection. We've seen those happen all along the way. One of our favorite church experience so far in what we've seen, so many. The first one that comes to mind was when we were in Demopolis with Eric and Angela Johnson. There was an entire row of people that were there, and they were near the back. It was a Wednesday night, so not a big crowd, but that row did not like me. They did not like me. There was a scowl on their face like, I'm not interested in anything you got to say. And by the end of the service, the first one to answer the altar call was the one with the biggest scowl. She came down, and then the other came down, and then the whole row. And the moment they all knelt down together, the power of God just came down. They all started weeping like that. I mean, without looking at it, they just all began to weep. And it was just a gusher of tears. And God radically touched them. I mean, it was the most amazing turnaround I've ever witnessed in just a matter of seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was dramatic.
It was.
And so that was powerful. A really cool moment. We've seen that happen. We were in California at Living Word, and as we were just the power of God you know, just came down. And Pastor Mark Wallace, who's phenomenal, he comes up to me in the last night. There's a gentleman who's, you know, there in the altar, and he's like, you know, that guy was at the end of his life. I mean, he was done. And there he is with tears streaming down his face. Another individual who had walked away from the Lord a year ago and was completely living the prodigal lifestyle came to the altar and with tears streaming down his face gave his heart back to the Lord, wrapped his arms around me, you know, bought the book, wanted it signed, you know. And so just watching, that's always been our deal. That's our DNA, is seeing people come back to Jesus. And we've gotten to see that, and to show it to the family has been awesome.
Yeah.
Has there been a church moment that stood out to you?
The one, okay, yes. And it was when we were in, I'm going to cry. I don't want to do that. No, when we were in, at the Burn.
Yeah.
With JoJo and Autumn Dawson, Caden, he was in service with us, and he kept going, Mom, I want to preach. I'm like, okay, bud. He's like, no, I want to preach right now. And I'm like, oh, okay, bud, just, you know, just calm down. And I was like, I said, you need to let Daddy preach for right now, but why don't you ask Jesus, you know, what would you say? You know, if you were able to preach right now. He says that everybody has to get on the trail of fire. You know, and just to hear that from my 5-year-old son was just cool. So, yeah.
Those moments have been so neat. We're having conversations with the kids we didn't have a year ago. Having conversations at night when we're tucking them to bed. And I've gotten to tuck my kids in every single night this year except for a couple. And that didn't happen the years before. And so, wow. And the conversations we've gotten to have, they've grown spiritually. And it's good. It's really good.
It's great.
I feel a little bit of Washington getting on me. It's good.
On the, you know, you mentioned tucking the kids in at night. My roommate from BRSM, Amanda.
What's up, Amanda? How are you?
I love you. I hope I get to see you when I'm in Michigan in September. She says, how do the kids, you know, do the bedtime in the RV, and do we have to go to bed at the same time? And
that's our only time alone. That's it. That's our only time alone.
It is. Oh, we catch up on our little shows that we watch, but the kids do great. It depends on really the night of the week and what we've been doing.
Depends on how tired they are.
It depends on if we've had service that night, because if we've had service, I don't duck out like okay, we got to go. It's 8:30. You got school tomorrow. With Rhea's school, she has to log in a little bit later, except for when we're on Pacific time because it is earlier here. But we stay, and the kids stay, and I let them stay, and they make friends and everything, and so they're generally pretty exhausted when we get them back to bed. So it's not a difficult thing. They have their, you know, the bedtime routine of they like to watch like a little program. So the boys will watch something. Ray and I will watch like the Kids Bake Off or MasterChef Junior together, and then generally we try to put the boys to bed first, and then Ray stays up just a little bit later, and then they go to bed, and they're all doing really good, and
yeah. And then once they go to bed, we shut the door to the bathroom, and then shut the bathroom door to our room.
Sorry, you almost got nailed by a bird. Sorry. It was really close to hitting
almost
your
got my
coffee
coffee too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There's like 100 birds flying overhead, and one just dropped the bomb.com.
Yeah, it was awesome. Live
I should have
TV.
put the
awesome.
put the shed out.
Yeah, you should have. Okay.
Well, it's just so beautiful.
Okay, John Gagney, he's full of questions, which is awesome. He says, are there really pockets of revival, and do they resemble each other? It seems the Lord is speaking the same message across the globe.
This is what I feel like God is doing right now, and that's probably a great place to kind of segue and to bring this to a little bit of a close. This is what I feel God is doing, is that by and large, churches across America have gotten so caught into maintenance and the maintenance of the routine, that breaking out of their system is becoming almost impossible, and it's actually working against revival. And what I'm seeing is a discomfort in the pew. The way I've interpreted it is the bride is about to break out. She is frustrated about coming once a week to the show and to simply being entertained with an expectation that she just simply needs to show up, attend, and give her tithes. And I know every church out there would say that's not what we expect, but whenever I just listen, our behavior bears out our belief. Not what you say, not what's written on the wall, I just watch. And when everything's about maintenance of the Sunday morning program and not genuinely imparting into the bride to make her fruitful so that she will then begin to go out and make a difference in the world, we've missed something. And so what I'm beginning to see happen, and it's happening out of necessity, is people are beginning to coalesce together and just say, we want to contend together. And they attend different churches, but they come together to pray together, to do outreach together. Some people are calling them revival hubs, some people are calling them prayer rooms, but they are contending. Some people may view that as, a departure from the church system, but the people that I've met, they're very much respectful, and they're very much still underneath their authority. They're just frustrated, and they want to see the power of God move, and so they're beginning to contend. And so this is what I believe. Steve used to teach this all the time. He says that God has favorites. You can look through Scripture, He has favorites. You can find the times that there's just certain individuals that He puts His hand on. And so you can find that God had His Moses, He had His Joshua, He had, his Daniel, He had His, you had the Paul, you had the Peter, the James, the John. You can always find these individuals that just had something special and unique on their life. The truth is, any single one of us can find that spot with the Lord. The call goes out to all, few answer it. And I believe that's true for the individual, and I believe it's true for the church. And so if a church would be willing to say, hey, this is all that we want, and we're all in. Everything is on the table. I believe that revival is fully available. He hasn't withdrawn it. I don't see in Scripture where He's, waiting for somebody to hit the magic moment or pray enough times for it to be able to descend. I believe that the outpouring is there. We just have to come out from the sheds that we've built and step into it. And so are there pockets of revival? My friend, the whole earth is filled with the glory of the Lord. The whole earth is filled. We're just blind to it. And it's time that we wake up to it and recognize that we can be moving into something right now, and we no longer have to wait. There's a little woodchuck over there climbing on he's a big one too. That's so cool. Sorry, I got distracted. Squirrel.
Really? Okay, and then one more question. I'm sorry, let me find it really quickly.
This has been so good for
People
us.
are saying they want us to do it again, which is good.
This has been
so
so good for us.
are you still sending rocks back to the rock altar, and how many have you sent?
Yes, we've probably already sent, and I feel so sorry for Seneca Church of God because I send them a box of rocks. I love Pastor Brian, and I address it to him, so I can only imagine that he's like, couldn't you send these to somebody else, please? Because carrying rocks out there can't be an easy chore. But yes, we are still sending rocks out there. I've got a load already that need to go, probably about another 10 from the most recent states. And so there will be 25 rocks from around the U.S.
No, there's probably at least,
There's more than that, but there'll be at least 25 from around the U.S. here in a couple weeks, from churches specifically sitting on the rock pile. That story has just had a life of its own. Mm-hmm. And we're so thrilled that we were able just to talk that one up and share it. And it's neat. It's become a rallying point. And so it's just kind of a really neat connection point. So thank you, Seneca. And thank you, Seneca Church of God, for allowing us to send rocks to you and for sending them over to the rock pile. That's not an easy chore, but thank you.
And let's not let it get forgotten.
No.
Can't let it get forgotten again.
No.
Bring your kids. Take your kids.
Yeah. I've had so many people write and want to know where it's at, and whenever I share it. And so it's on the website. It's actually geotagged. And so if you go to the store, you can actually see the exact location of where it's at. It's a little hard to get out there to it, but it's an easy walk. Mm-hmm. And when I say hard, it's just a matter of knowing exactly where it's at and how to get there in that realm. Yeah. So is there one more that's just kind of like stand out to you?
Joyce Kincaid. Hi, Joyce.
What's up, Joyce? We love you.
She wants us to do this again, and she wants to know, have we watched the old movie, The Long, Long Trailer? Is that the one with Lucy?
It is the one with Lucy, and it's been a long time. That's the one where I think that's the one where she picks up the rocks, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's been mentioned to us a couple of times, so
Yeah.
we'll have to watch it again.
Yeah, they're like traveling in the U.S. with a trailer behind the car,
Yeah.
and she's picking up rocks everywhere. She fills the whole coach full of rocks, and then
Yeah.
it gets out of control and it's rolling down the hill because it's too heavy. And
Ours don't stay here, though. We send them back. So
yes,
so that's
so
awesome.
cool.
That is cool.
Let me share this with you, and I've shared this in one of the roadcasts, but I feel like it's pertinent, and it kind of ties into, John, what you asked earlier, as the plane goes flying overhead, making noise. I tried so hard to make this with our microphones so that you could hear it better, and with a trip to a Guitar Center, apparently didn't get what I needed, and so I apologize if the audio is not quite right, but we'll get it fixed for the next one. I was in Nashville, well, right outside of Nashville, Tennessee, in Ashland City with Chris Moore and Gateway. And I was praying before service at the altar. And as I was praying, I was asking God, it's like, God, because it was rain, it's like, Lord, send the rain. And he sternly spoke to me and said, son, my people have been passionately, persistently asking me to send the rain. He said, but all along I have been patiently waiting for them at a well.
So good.
And I stopped on that and I began to weep, because what I heard in that moment was, we keep asking God to do something that he's already done. He's the one who promised in the last days I would open up the heavens and he would pour out his spirit upon all flesh, and he never said that he would ever take that away. If the heavens are brass, it's not his fault, it's our fault, and we can take that down. But we've been asking and saying, Lord, send the rain, send the rain, send the rain, because we're dry, we're dry, we're dry. Where's he at? He's waiting at a well. And just like that day that he was waiting for the woman at the well outside of Samaria, and the lady came, she found somebody there that day unlike anybody that she had ever met, and ended up drawing from him that living water that he offered her. And not only did it become life in her, it became life to the entire community. That's exactly the word that we all need to hear right now. Stop praying for God to send the rain. You and I are not living by seasons. He is waiting for us at a well. And so what do we need to do? We need to find that secret place where we go and we park ourselves next to him and just ask the Savior, Lord, let us take a drink from the deep waters. What did he call us? To be like trees planted by the water with our roots running down deep. You and I are never called to know a time where it's going to be dry. Never called to know a time where the water's not going to be there. I mean, even Elijah was maintained out in the desert there by a brook. And so I'm telling you, my friend, that you and I can find that spot with the Lord, to where we can find ourselves with him at the well and draw from him. And when that becomes life inside of us, it'll become a life to those around us, and we'll begin to see our communities touched. And so here's our prayer for you. And I know there's so many needs, excuse me, so many needs that are represented, whether it's financial, healing, or whatever. The answer's in him. And so my prayer for you right now, and our prayer for you, is that you would find that time with the Lord, the secret place. The Bible says that he who dwells in the secret place shall abide beneath the shadow of the Almighty. And I pray that as you are drawn to that spot, parked by the well with our Savior, that there in that spot, that you would receive from him everything that you need, that you would abide in him and be refreshed in him. And there that change would not only affect you, but would touch and change your family and the community around you. So Lord, let that blessing fall upon us all. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you for just letting us do this. This means a lot to us to be able to interact with so many of our friends. Please, just keep watching on us, not because we're prideful or anything, but just because it's good to know that we're carrying our family and our friends along with us in the process, and it means a lot to us, and so thank you. Anything you want to say?
No, I was just gonna mention the fact that there's lots of short videos that you've interviews and things with different pastors from our journey. If you haven't been able to see them on the Facebook, they're on the website.
Yep.
The kids have a spot. You know, Ray's got her own little video blog, and she would say,
She's way
like
behind.
and subscribe.
Yeah, she's way behind.
She is way behind. But yeah, so there's lots of content on the trailofire.org.
3 videos in particular, the one with Pastor Caleb Cooper in Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. Also with Paul.
They just finished their 33.
They did. They just wrapped up all 33 counties. They blitzed the state. You want to talk about a church that's taking on their state for awakening, that's it.
Yes.
And then Paul and Kim Owen in Phoenix, Arizona at Fresh Start Church. They've been stewarding a move of God. We talked about that. And then one of my favorites, Chris Miyake and I on the journey, the road to Ohana. Mm-hmm. And we did that on the road to Hana, which is one of the top 10 drives in the world. And so we were sitting down for some hooey chicken, and we talked about developing the culture of family inside of the church. And so 3 videos that have meant a lot to me, and I think speak a lot to what we need to see happen in the church today. And so check those out.
Caleb Cooper just joined.
Did he?
Yeah.
Caleb, I just gave a shout out to you.
Yeah.
And
it was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Pastor Caleb.
Happy birthday, Pastor Caleb. Also, just to say, because we just talked about it, you just wrapped up your 33 counties.
Awesome.
This church in Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, New Hope Revival Church, Pastor Caleb Cooper, they have just attacked their state in prayer and have just segmented all 33 counties. They have now had basically an awakening service in every single one of those counties, visit out to every single one of them to connect and draw churches. There's now hundreds of pastors and hundreds of churches all on the same page and all contending. And so if you're wondering where's one of the hot spots that God's visiting, New Mexico.
Absolutely.
New Mexico, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
So love you guys. Love what's been taking place on the journey. If you got to this thing late, it'll be up on the Facebook page, and so you can go back and take a look. If there's some questions that you have, feel free to drop them on there. We will do this again, I promise.
Yes.
And so until next time, we love you. And so here we are from Spokane, Washington.
And if you're ever around where we are, please come see us. We want to see you.
Yes. Yes.
So.
We'll just we got nothing to do but sit around out here and have coffee on nights like this, right?
Yeah, nights like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
So love you.